Wow, okay, how did that happen? Okay, well, for whatever reason, Mic Aux was set really low, but now it looks normal again. So hopefully I'm audible. I guess I'll find out if someone shows up. 3% fewer floor tiles. What did they replace that 3% with? I wonder if that statistic was objectively measured or if it was just arbitrarily guessed at. One can never be completely sure of such things, without counting how many floor tiles there are in the entire hold. Alright, so I think we left off here. TSS Elements Showcase by ASB. One of those classic tutorial type levels, it seems, and the change location screen is being weird. Anyway, hey, so I miscounted last week's stream and just didn't change the title, or there was some amount of mistitling and miscounting, and last week it said 148, but it was really 149, so this is actually and really number 150. So that's neat. Anyway, I left a note up top that at some point a thing may happen that requires my attention, and if it does, then I'll just, say, cut off the mic, say be right back, and I'll be back. So today, we're very close to finishing T, but I don't know how long-winded or hard any of this is going to be. I know 12 Days of Christmas is a contest, but it's also one that I participated in, so I might be able to get away with playing less of it. Anyway, TSS Elements Showcase, which I guess is a TSS version of that classical, hey, here's a tutorial outside of the hold that already behaves as a tutorial of things. Or it might be, here's a really challenging thing. Oh, cool. New elements. You stepped into a dungeon. Well, I guess I'll get started. It should tell me all I need to know about new elements. The new elements. Yeah, I feel like I have a vague recollection that I have actually played Tunnel Vision before, but I could be wrong. Ice may look like a trapdoor, but it is not. Even when you are unarmed, ice will still drop. Also, that's a force arrow. Ice does not count toward toggling red gates. Ice can thrive in both deep and shallow water. That's not really a good way to describe it. It's more like, It would be a lot more accurate to say that there are two kinds of ice, shallow water ice and not shallow water ice. But whatever. The important thing is that I have roaches to kill. And also a brain. Alright, so yeah, this is literally just the tutorial so far. Hello. Here's spikes. Spikes pop up every 10 turns, with a visual warning on the turn right before popping up. When spikes stab something, I'm about to sneeze. Sorry. When spikes stab something, it's exactly like a sword strike. Everything breakable by swords is destroyed, 1, with the exception of flying monsters, 2. But be careful, because when non-flying stabbable things can be impaled on spikes, let's say you have to watch your feet. Rattlesnake will deal with spikes like swords. Their head is invincible, but their tail will be cut, so they will be shortened 1 square for stab, but only when the tail is hit, demonstrating the higher. I guess there's supposed to be green highlighting here. I guess there's sort of some light there. I don't know. It's not dark enough to tell the difference. Rattlesnake. Wait, didn't I already read that? Oh. These all say the same thing. Sorry for loud. Oh yeah, so I messed around with that setting on the forum, and when I messed around with it, in the next few days it didn't seem to have done anything, but I guess it actually did do something. Whoops. Oh well. Maybe at some point I'll try to fix it. Give it an actual custom message of some sort. Alright, what do you got to tell me about whatever's to the east? Fire traps. Toggleable like yellow doors, except you can actually move into them and burn into a crisp. If you want to, for some reason. Of course, you can also use this walk-in and die style to your advantage. Monsters, airborne, Afrigundos, and wait. Oh, airborne Fagundos, okay. Oh. Okay. Fire traps can burn any tile of tar stuff, including uncuttable blobs. Fire traps are another way to destroy wubbas and builders, citizens. Fire traps will explode bombs. Fire traps will burn briar. If you ever played Wonder Quest, then you know that you can toggle force arrows. Now this feature is in Drawd. I've never played Wonder Quest. Disabled force arrows are just like regular floor tiles until re-enabled by an orb or pressure pipe. Yeah, check that out. Also, tar stuff won't grow on them. Yep. Alright, so is it all tutorial? Objects. Okay. New tokens, powder keg, seeding beacons. I'm gonna start skimming this, just because I want to know if there are actual puzzles quizzing you on this stuff, or if it's just all tutorial. Time tokens, token. Keep pressing the tab key, enabling you to spot you, blah blah blah. Push them to. The projection will wait regardless of how long it takes to wait if blocked. To prevent cheating, some pressure plates are reserved for temporal projections only. Okay. You can push temporal projections. Is prevented to you. The pressure plate north of the arrow trap is prevented to you. Prevented to you. Prevented to you? What does that mean? Well, whatever. I'm just gonna have this guy sit around a bit. I mean, I guess. Anyway. The projection will also attempt to move through invalid spaces such as walls or pits. Try it to your advantage here. The door on the left will open when you create a temporal rift. I don't know. I think it's telling me that there's some kind of scripting here, but I'm not really clear what it is. Oh well. I'm just gonna have this guy sit around for a while. Because my understanding is that this... Oh. Okay, that button presses itself. Okay. Did I need time tokens for this room? Okay, sure. What's to the north? Yeah, pickaxe. Boom. Here's more pickaxing. And you can destroy piles with it. Hey now, you already introduced the stick when you did the time token room. Shouldn't there have been some prevention of that? Honestly, what feels almost undersold about the spear is that it destroys... It's kind of interesting that alternate weapons are all kind of constructed in such a way that they don't just give you a different interaction with things in that they push or attack, but the ones that aren't the stick all have unique things that they can destroy that nothing else can, sort of. Oh, that looked normal. Yeah, that's true. The white highlighted wall goes down when the goblins are dead. What? There's only one goblin, though. Well, the goblin's dead. But I don't see the wall going down, do I? This guy is a little tricky with a dagger. I guess. There we go. Okay, I guess in theory that's supposed to be the case. Oh, there we go. That pattern of hard wall seemed kind of suspicious, to where if this was a serious puzzle hold, I would have been looking for a secret way to, like, scriptingly open that up or something. But I'm not too worried about that in this case. This is slightly awkward. Alright, and to the east. So I guess this is objects, next we'll have monsters, I guess? Okay. Powder keg! Hooray! Powder kegs exist. Here's a really awkward maze for no good reason. I can appreciate wanting your pass-throughs to be interesting, but not that interesting, please. Huh. Okay. Awkward. look fine. Monsters! They are not to be messed with. They are to be messed with. That's the whole point. Psst. There's fluff and puffs to the west. North of here where engineers work. Gentry are chained up south, and constructs are stored to the east. I don't know why I'm here. Yeah? Yeah. Anyway. You can push puffs. Puffs target monsters. Won't grow on disabled force arrows. I guess I should let them kill. What? What's happening here? Why is the Wubba disappearing? Does anyone know why the Wubba's disappearing here? Is that... Okay. Okay, that's a character. It's scripted to disappear. Okay, I was like, what is happening? Did I discover a bug? And what is the bug? That just didn't look right at all. Anyway. Hey, that guy who gave me the hot tip about where things are is gone. Engineers are like builders, except they're not builders. They're like engineers. Because engineers are smarter than people who just build things, I guess. Constructs are flexible beelining, because that's words that a person reading a tutorial would understand. Constructs by their very nature make this actually somewhat of an interesting event. There we go. Constructs also do not reconstruct when burned on a hot tile or stabbed on a spike. Strictly speaking, they do. Strictly speaking, the constructs are picking themselves back up on those tiles, it's just that they die immediately after. I mean, I guess you could argue that that's just my interpretation of what's going on, but I think that's a much more helpful way to understand it. Ah well. Because even if the only construct in the room is on a hot tile, he still goes exterminate when it would be the time for him to wake up. Dropping Gentry is the only way to kill them, unless you have a kill laser. Gentry will attempt to move with a roach-like movement when their chain permits. When you break a wall, Gentry is chained to, it will be unleashed. Yep. Bye, buddy. Bye now. Exit level. So is that it? That's all of the tabs, right? Oh, now there's actually something. Okay, there is a puzzle. Maybe. There might be a puzzle. Okay, nothing really that I would call a puzzle so far, necessarily. Okay, this is actually sort of a combat. Kind of. Alright. Lure the Puffs. But there's nothing actually in their way. I don't even think the room on Puffs mentioned their interaction with Hot Tiles and Briar, which are some of the more meaningful things about them, really. I should be careful how I stab this, I guess. I'm not extremely careful, but a little careful. Oh, okay, we're doing that, huh? That's a character up there. Yeah, I made room like that. A little awkward that I have to walk all the way back slowly. You think maybe you could have constructed this so that the end was actually at the end of the path, of the extremely linear path? Oh well. It's fine. If someone had not played Drod for like decades, and they needed a tutorial to remind them how everything works, I guess this would work. I don't know. Anyway, I would go for something maybe even in between that and TSS itself. Maybe a little less throwing you into the fire without any prep, and maybe also a little less just literally narrating what everything is. Okay, let's look at Tunnel Vision. Another small one-level theme hold by Tim. Theme Tunnels. Or maybe I'm misremembering. Why is that flickering? Okay. Well, I don't know why that was flickering, but it stopped when I clicked the window. While Quathro was looking for Tim, he found himself lost in the Tunnel Kingdom. This was the beginning of a new adventure that was to change his life. Alright, I'm misremembering. I'm thinking of something like the one-way hold. There's like this hold where you have to go across a really long way north, and then you have to go all the way back or something. I don't know. It's not this one, though. Who wants to enter the Tunnel Kingdom? My name is Quathro, Dungeon Architect and Sword Fighter. I am Octavio, Guard of the Tunnel Kingdom. Why are you here? I seem to be lost. Can you help me? No? Okay. Many thanks to Jacob, Alnion, Doom, and Lurimerk for testing this hold. Without their inspiration and their patience, this hold would never have got finished. And you for playing it. Tim. I can help you, but you will have to help me in return. I will see you in the next room. Okay. Wow, what is happening here? These are my mimics. I have set them up to protect our kingdom. How do you do that? It is quite complicated, but first we have to get you out of here. See you in the room to the north. So, is the west a legitimate exit? I guess I'm not allowed to check. Okay. Can you help me move this rubble? That is too heavy for me. Can we reach the stairs using the east exit? Yes, but it is quite a detour. Are you sure you cannot help me here? I am not that strong, sorry. Okay, let us try the green door then. Are you good at tunneling? Watch out where the tunnels lead to. There can be one-way tunnels out there. Oh boy. Well, this looks like a thing. Dear player, hit the orb if you need help in this room. Well, I accidentally the orb, but I don't. I hope I don't. Let's see. I probably do need puzzle mode, though. Okay, I think I can get there like this. No, that's not what I meant to do, I think. Okay, I think I got mixed up somewhere. So why did I think that would help? I can go here, I can go there if I can get to that crossway. I just have to stare at this to make sense of it. Okay. No? I think I'm just misreading something that's actually not going in the direction I want it to. Does this help? Ah, this is... that's back where I was. Oh, actually, I do want to go. When did I... Yeah, I want to go south here, and that puts me on the right track. There we go. You know, I never knew this room was that easy. See you in the next room. Okay. The guard of the Tunneling Kingdom, it doesn't seem to be very confident in his abilities. Now, which exit should I take? Well, the east exit leads to some roaches, and the north exit leads to some roach queens. Do I need to do both of them? Anyway, it's fine with me. The paths join up in a later room anyway. Well, I'm gonna do the roach queens, I guess. I didn't read this. Note to completionists, this hold will give you an opportunity to visit the rooms a second time. You can always finish a skipped room later on. Okay. This room was inspired by one of Doom's rooms in his new hold. Of course, this one is much easier. Winky face. Okay. Oh, did he say something? Excellent choice. Okay. Not too sure how to get at all of the queens. I guess if that one I did last, it might be okay. Oh, okay, that interruption I mentioned is here. I'll be back in just a minute. There's supposed to be a B there. There we go. Okay, so I think I should start with this room, with this side of this room. The problem is that there's that one place in the western bunch of queens. It seems like it's designed in such a way that you can't avoid getting a queen stuck behind something. So my inclination is to try to do this one last, but I'm not sure I have that option. Maybe I should cut this off, actually. I think I can still get out this way, if I can kill all the queens at least. How do I kill all of them? Oh, maybe I just need to do this. That one queen is going to be a problem, though. I'm pretty sure I can. Yeah, if I could kill all the queens here, then I can go this way, proceed along the green doors, and exit east. Unless you're saying something else is that I can't. I don't know. I'm just not really sure how I'm supposed to deal with this set of queens in the first place. Maybe something more like that? How do I keep them from being in more than one bad place at a time? Maybe I need to kill more of them on my first pass through somehow? I don't really have very many of them that I can actually kill. Without cutting off some paths I don't really want cut off. Yeah. It doesn't help especially much, but it's true. Okay, that might work. Alright, sorry. Back again. That was more the interruption length that I was expecting. I never need that pathway up there. And its existence caused me problems, so... that should maybe work.
Thank you, Evan.
No, that one queen just keeps wandering way off where I need her to not be. There we go. I just needed to shuffle the move order a little bit. Yeesh. See you in the next room, he says. Alright, here's something with Wubbas. I was told I'd be allowed to backtrack, but I guess not yet. Alright, there's citizens around there. Advisor Mars, why have you brought me here? Commander Galio, I want to inform you about my latest research. It seems we spend a lot of Greckers on our defenses. Well, the kingdom deserves that, don't you think? Of course we deserve that, but the question is the money well spent? Tell me, has there been a successful invasion of our kingdom lately? Not that I can remember, my dear Commander. But did you know our defense budget is twice as high as that of all our neighboring countries? What are you implying? We deserve that budget. Indeed we do, my dear Commander. However, during my research I discovered a very, how should I put it, a very peculiar fact. And that is, the fact is, they all pay for their guard commanders more than what you receive. Impossible. Where do you get your information from? I have been advising our neighboring countries for a long time before serving you, my dear Commander. You can trust me in that the information I have gathered is correct. My dear Advisor Mars, what do you advise me to do? What do you think? Are we witnessing the introduction of a coup? That's kind of interesting. So anyway, there's Wubbas in this room. I guess the guard forgot to follow me in here. I think I hear some noise nearby. Let's continue in my office. Which is, of course, through this conveniently placed tunnel. Which exit should I take now? Well, the east exit leads to some wraithwings, and the north to some twisted golems. Twisted golems? By the way, did you know that you can use tunnels to block enemies? Yeah, I know that. These don't look particularly twisted to me. Dear player, this room is a variation of those twisted rooms found in many holds. I do not know where it first came from, the last one I saw was in perfection. Be warned, there is a surprise in this room. Don't worry, my friend, I can do this. I still don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Look, another golem, over there. I don't understand in what way this is twisted. Well, how am I intended to enter this room, then? Okay, I guess that's what they meant. Wow, that was really nice, but you still need to get out of the room. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Let's try... Well, I'm not really sure what this room wants me to do. Yeah, I'm not too clear how I'm supposed to leave a passage open to leave. And why is there a Mimic Potion if I'm literally not allowed to reach it? Like, this does not make any sense. Should I do this? Is this helpful? I think this might be a bad.
Got a question.
Yes, I'm popular with my parents. Anyway. I don't know what this room wants me to do, so maybe I'll just try the Wraithwing room. I mean, that's the advantage of having choice, right? This is an interesting room. Watch out for the Wraithwings! Oh boy. Interesting room ahead. This is a lot more straightforward. Even if it does involve the dreaded multi-Wraithwing setup. Alright, so hopefully there is a way that I can reach that guy. There we go. Beautifully done. What is with all these tunnels? They all lead out of the room? Nay, they all lead to the other tunnel exit in this room. But they all lead to the wrong direction. So what? You're not going to tell me that tunnels go through the room and come back, are you? Oh, they are just ordinary tunnels with entrances in the wrong way. I see. Which exit should I take now? Well, the east exit leads to some locked roaches, and the north exit leads to some locked roach queens. Choose the one you like. I already forgot which one is which, so hey. Locked, huh? This is a very interesting room. See you in the east room. Okay. He sure does like characterizing everything as interesting, huh? So I guess that business about tunnels going the wrong way is just to make sure the player understands that tunnels can point so that they go kind of backwards, which is very important for a room like this. I guess I need to go there. So I actually want to go this way. Oh yeah, don't kill the queen. Not yet. These rooms full of deadly monsters sure are interesting. Is the Tunnel Kingdom allies with the Empire or what? By the way, where are all the other guards? There are no other guards. What do you mean? Are you the only one? Me and my mimics, I'm quite efficient. Even the commander does not know. What happens when you go to sleep? My mimics are programmed to work while I sleep. Those mimics take quite a lot of work though, and I need a lot of mimic potions. Fortunately, our kingdom has an almost unlimited supply of those. I remember when the Tunnel Kingdom had a very large army. You do? We used to have an army, but we have had some budget cuts lately. Most of my friends have left or worked for other kingdoms, but I like the work. But did you know the room to the north is officially off-limits even for guards? I suggest you take the invisibility potion as soon as possible. The north exit leads to lots of wraith wings, and the east exit there leads to lots of golems. Choose the one you like. Well, didn't you just say it was off-limits to go north? Wait, hold on. Why? Maybe there was a misspeak and it was supposed to be the room to the south? Maybe one of those who was trying to say south? I don't know. Something about an invisibility potion. Okay. See you in the room after that. Oh, okay. He was telling me that I'm not allowed here, but he is. I mean, that he's not allowed here, but I am. And I should be invisible as soon as possible in order to see this cutscene. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Welcome to my private office, Advisor Mars. This is a restricted area. No one dares come here without protection. This place is very secure. Well done, my dear Commander Galio. What about the guards at the door? Those are mimic guards. They can't hear us. Eh? Of course no one knows that. That makes this room the best for holding private conversations. Now, where were we? We were talking about how you could increase your income. Oop. Hold on. Something broke.
Well, you know what? Everybody gets to eat here.
Now, where were we? We were talking about how you could increase your income. Are you sure this is all right? Who could be against that decision, my dear commander? The king might. No, he won't, because he will also be spending less of his budget on the guards. All one of them. Less? Yes, my dear commander. Remember, you are making the guards work more efficiently and for less money. Of course, most of the efficiency profits go to the person who made that possible. Me? Naturally, and your king will save himself a few greckles. How about the guards? Will the guards turn against me? All one of them? How often do you see your guards lately? Do you think they'll have time to complain? I promise you, sir, they will not even argue. That sounds more and more interesting. Yeah, interesting, that's a word for it. I think this advisor might be working for another kingdom or something. So where do you think I can cut some costs? I can show you a report of my intensive research. But, my dear commander, you see, that research took me quite some time, and I understand. I think I can help you with that. Let's go to the treasury. Or, I don't know, I guess they just really want money. Okay. It'll hit the orb when you step... Oh, I'll hit the orb when you step on the marked square, okay? Yeah, but I wish I had 2 mimic potions instead. Sorry, but I need every mimic potion I can get. I understand, just joking. So wait, are they nearly limitless, or do you need all of them? Make up your mind. That's like, hey, we have water for days. I need all the water I can get. You also can't fool this room by putting a decoy on the pressure point. Right, I think maybe I would be better off defending one side with decoys and trying to defend the other side myself or something. They really aren't catching very many rainfalls, are they? Okay, maybe I wasn't sticking eastward enough for it to be useful. This is a little better. So, okay, they have as many mimic potions as they want, but do they have an unlimited supply of decoy potions, or am I using up their extremely tiny and limited supply? This is a little confusing. I don't know how the economics of the Tunnel Kingdom work. I mean, they have one guard and they can't afford to cut budgets? I don't know. This last guy is a bit of a pain. I was hoping I could just bonk the last Wraith thing against a decoy, but it didn't work out that way. There we go. That's a little better. You are great. Now leave the room. Well done. See you in the next room. Okay. Tim! It's the room of Tim. Well done. The exit is just after the next room. The east leads to a mix of monsters. And the north exit leads to some tar and mud. Did you know that I owe you a lot for helping me out? How am I helping him? All I'm doing is looking at his quote-unquote interesting rooms. And that's a really weird way to introduce the topic, by saying, "Did you know?" Well, I've learned a lot of new techniques as well. Sure you have. Okay. So I'm guessing that if I go this way, this is the way to backtrack, or this is the way from there, okay. I mean, yes, but also the rooms are supposedly interesting, too. I don't know, I just find that confusing. Alright, well, I'll take a mix of monsters, I guess. Oops. Bit of an impasse here. Oh, die. Let's do this. Hooray, plus shape. Hooray, vertical preference, maybe. Yay, vertical preference. How do I arrange this? Oh, okay, I see. Wasn't paying attention to this island here. Vertical preference. I am very glad I did this instead of a tar mud room. Welcome to the exit room. You made it. I guess this is the end then? Yep, come back when you have time, okay? I will. So what did your commander say? Nothing really. The only thing is that there will be no budget left for mimic potions. Okay, but what can you do without mimic potions? I don't know. I think I will buy them myself. Why don't you just talk to your commander? Well, it's not the commander's fault. The king is ordered to reduce the budget. The commander could not stop him. Why don't you quit then? Why, and what about these people? I can't leave them here alone. They are helpless without me. You really like this job so much? I have no choice. Well, it seems I can't change your mind. I should be going. Thanks for all your help. But I have learned a lot from your swordplay. That was great. Now I am merely a simple sword holder. I should be leaving now. Goodbye then. Be seeing you. Okay, that was an extensive conversation. These stairs mark the end of the hold. Congratulations. These stairs will let you take a second visit to the Tunnel Kingdom. Blue doors in this level will disappear after you take the stairs. Okay. So you have to beat the entire... So you can end the hold here if you do this, but you can also go back through and complete and get a better ending or whatever. That's fine. If you enjoyed this hold, you can play other holds made by Tim. Yep. That was the wrong button. Okay then. Hello? Alright, well that's tunnel vision. I'm gonna at least poke this, because I'm very close to finishing tea. Alright, 2016, 4 entire years ago. We made a Christmas compilation. We made a Christmas contest. Yes. The rules were that you could only use so many of each monster type, and you had to use exactly that many. So, Xmas Contest Hold by Insoluble was the first place, Last Minute Shopping was third place by Dragon Fogel, Trollmas has no scoreable rooms, How to Build a Room by Lucky Luke is in second place, End Hold is here, here's the quest for the list, which I made. It has a nice scroll graphic there. Unabridged 12 Days by Kalen. Scattershot Holiday Hold by Jeff Ray. A very Hartley Chris Math Special by Lucky Luke. Luck? I don't know how you pronounce that. Grab Bag by Mo Butterfly. Lazy Architect's Basement by MX Vladi. Collection of Titles by Chaco. Be Through on the Cold Corridor by Cubic. And then I guess there's 4 more in the east. The entry room. Yep. Alright, I'm just gonna start here at random. 12 Days of the Winter Solstice by Discoran. The 8th has a winter solstice with corresponding festivities lasting for 12 days. How solstices even work in the 8th is a mystery, but there they are. This year, Beethro got stuck with a pickaxe in the guild with a white elephant exchange just in time for Olivia's annual series of gifts to start arriving. Use special command for a hint. Yeah, okay, so the idea here is that each of these rooms has just one additional monster over the previous one, because there were 12 roaches allotted to begin with. There's a roach in every room. There's one of, yeah, whatever there's 11 of. Anyway, I think we want to have the roach hit this button. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, just block it with the pickaxe. There we go. Here we get a goblin, first of 11. What's the idea here? I think all 3 buttons need to be held down all the way along through. So the goblin or the roach needs to somehow go to the other one. Yeah, the real problem with these is just how linear they are. It's like if you can't figure out a room, then you're just stuck forever and you can't see the rest of the entry. I'm not really sure how to make someone go that way. Maybe I should try to keep the roach north. Or make this guy go north a little ahead of time. I mean, it's specifically a problem in the context of being a contest entry. That you want to complete in a certain not very brief, but kind of relatively brief period and then vote on it. I don't know. Yeah, I remember that one. I kind of think I know what you're talking about. I couldn't figure out the first room at all. If we're thinking of the same thing. I don't know how to proceed here. Also, this hold is in a weird place where this contest wound up with a lot of entries where there's no way to easily go back to the beginning, go back to the hub of the contest. It feels like this was just before that became absolutely standard good practice, please do that. So you wind up having to restore if you don't finish the whole thing in this case. Alright, I'm gonna push special command and see. Try facing north with both enemies north of you on the alternate flooring. Okay. Hey, it's a built-in hint system, I might as well try it. Is this what you had in mind? I think maybe it means that both of the enemies should be on the flooring also, but I don't see how to arrange that. Does this help somehow? This doesn't seem particularly helpful. Okay, now they're both north of me. Is this better? I still don't know which guy I want to go where. Okay, maybe this will work. Yeah, I just need the goblin to go that way. Ta-da! It feels like magic when you get it right. Well, not magic in the bad way of magic move sequence, but you know what I mean, hopefully. It's a little awkward to kill a goblin with a pickaxe, because the exact moves that pickaxe kill are kind of the ones he's best at avoiding. And stunning him isn't really all that helpful either. I know, I'm clumsy. Being never clumsy with this shouldn't be that difficult. Alright. Here we've got a guard. We've got the ability to open this up. So I think the guard has to kill at least one of the other guards, because of the design and everything. He maybe even needs to kill both of them, actually. I'd like them to stay stacked like that when I go to open the door, but it doesn't really work. Appropriate guard manipulation can be done entirely on the alternate flooring. Appropriate guard manipulation? That sounds like some kind of abstract typing. It doesn't really feel to me like manipulating the guard is even what I'm after anyway. I really want the things he's supposed to kill to be manipulated better. There we go. Okay. Durr. Alright, I've seen enough of this. I kind of want to make sure that I wanted to push restore, not change location. I want to make sure that I get a good sampling of a lot of entries. And there's like there's 4 cubed of them, so that was nice. And then there were none by uncopy. Okay. So this is the one I cannot figure out at all. Christmas is coming. However, in order to stop Mithra from getting his Christmas is in order. Yeah, this is horrible movement order nonsense. Alpha blending. Okay. On the 12th club replacements, 12 roaches were there running. Mithra, we are under an order to stop you from having a Christmas. Roaches can talk? In what order are you talking about? It doesn't matter. This is an order. This is just why. Why would you ever build a room like this? This is exactly the kind of thing that I mean when I say movement order should be the architect's job to deal with, not the players. Alright, I don't feel too inclined to bother with this much. Abandoned Warehouse by Komachi. I bought a warehouse to store the monsters. They are angry, but that's not my problem. This is a bit of a mess. Welcome to my entry. Sure. Yeah, this is just visually unparsable. Like, what even is all of this? I just threw everything in a room with broken walls and everything. It's like, I think there is puzzle here, but it's... you know... it just feels so all over the place. I'm sure I must have solved this one before, though. What is that supposed to say? You can see, all the monsters except Tarmother are surrounded by yellow gates except one construct which has red doors. That was my main idea when I made the hold. Okay. Sure, I guess. So the main concept of the hold was let's put every monster possible inside of the yellow door box. I keep trying not to destroy cracked walls on the off chance I need them for something. Like, I think probably the idea here is to use a roach to start opening some other doors. Okay, whatever, I'm tired of trying to avoid this. That's not a useful door to open, okay. Actually, is it possible to complete this round with the gate? It's probably okay. I was gonna say with the blue doors down and up, but it probably doesn't matter. I mean, never mind. It's a required room. Of course it's possible. That's not what I wanted. I just want you to hold down one useful door for me. For like a brief period of time. Is that too much to ask of you, Mr. Roach? Okay, that should be better. Is it better? Is that a useful door to have open? Actually, what opens this door? Where is it? Okay, that opens this door. So something has to be guided into that room to open that door. Oh boy, this is a mess. Okay. This opens from that? I guess I need to get a mirror to do that. Which I can do now that I have a roach holding down something. Maybe? Yeah, this is retrievable. So with this, I don't have to rely on the roach. The only problem is I'm not really sure how I'm ever going to open the Way of the Conquer token. I can't recall that I ever actually completed a room in this entry. I just remember, well, I don't think I remember anything, but it's most likely that I observed that this was a giant mess and I couldn't make sense of it and gave up. I'm pretty sure I can still retrieve that mirror back again if I need it again. Alright, so there's a bit of a problem with this. Yeah, I'd need a second mirror to survive that. And I can get one by opening that up, I guess, instead of wandering all the way that way. Right, I'm gonna hope I don't need too much of this anymore. I think I can even get a third mirror if I want. It's just really hard to parse. Like, it's not even necessarily that this is bad or actually even difficult, it's just really difficult to parse what's going on in the room. And I've become, if anything, more used to and preferent of, whatever the right way to say it is. Can I even get a mirror in here? It doesn't look like I can. How am I supposed to survive this without a mirror? Am I missing something? It doesn't look possible to bring a mirror inside to where I need it. I can bring it that far, and then it gets stuck here, and that's no good. Or it gets stuck there, and that's no good. That wouldn't help either. There's no way to get a roach in there. Yeah, there is no way to get a roach in there because that wouldn't work. Like, how would I get it to follow me in here without, I don't know. Among other things, that would require keeping a roach alive all the way to there, and that's not really fun. All the way back. Okay, here it is. Like, how am I? Where am I supposed to keep this guy while I'm trying to do that? I guess he can hang out there. I don't know. Looks like this mirror is retrievable. Maybe. What I was trying to say earlier was something like, over time I've become more accustomed to and more preferential of clean looking rooms, where it's clear what's going on if you just look at it, or it's at least reasonably not too hard to work out what's going on. I don't know. Or I don't know, it's not even that it's easy or hard to work out, just that it looks clean, it has a kind of nice, kind of overall niceness to it. And it's hard to even put in words what I'm trying to say, but maybe that makes sense. So yeah, that's no good. Well, I think I need an Omtlich, but I hope I don't still need the Roach. Because somebody's got to go into that weird passage to open the rock golems. And I'm still guessing that's a job for... Well, I don't know. Maybe that's a job for Roach Queen, because Omtlich isn't exactly going to go away from me into an arrow. Maybe I need this guy for something else, though. I don't know. There. Oh, actually, I forgot. I need someone to stand on this button to even go to the south. How? I guess if I could make this guy stay in this area, I could bring a mirror over to make him hold still on the button. Maybe? Except I'd have to be able to extract him from where he is just by moving around outside of this area. I'm not really sure how that's supposed to work. Well, I'm gonna try just having a mirror nearer to him than it already is right now, to maybe give a better chance of something good. I can't bring it all the way in because, yeah. I guess an opportunity to place the mirror onto that button would also be acceptable. It's just, I don't really see how to hold the button long enough to make that work. I stand by that this room is not really much fun to execute, even if you know what to do. It just feels like a mess anyway. Maybe I could make him look that way while he's on the button. There. Sheesh. Now maybe I can just get rid of you and put a mirror in your place and not have to worry about it. I sure hope so. So here there's some convoluted mess with a bunch of fire traps. I need one of these two to survive and make her way completely out of this area to go all the way to the west to open up where the rock golem is. I guess I should bring something to hold down the button and block the way for them to idiotically kill themselves. I am again feeling paranoid about all these cracked walls, as far as keeping a bunch of them in order to avoid disaster. Alright, so I only need one of these, so maybe I'll just let that one go. Actually, how can I get her to go west at all? Or the south one to go north? I don't like this room. Let's try literally any other room that doesn't have a Slayer in it. Okay. Well, I can't touch that, obviously, because that will kill me. I mean, yes, but I could tell that I was going to have to go back and get the Omflich, bring the Omflich all the way down to the Queen room, somehow manipulate him onto releasing the Queens while the mirror is to the northwest of him while I'm to the east of him, so I can push the Queen west. I just got really tired of that. There's a trapdoor gate in this room. Of course there is. Why would there ever not be? That means these guys have to die on the hot tiles or else out in somewhere else. This is already... Like, how do I get these guys? I guess I should just wander farther in until I find something I can do. This is all wrong-handed. I mean, there's 3 hot tiles there, which suggests you're just supposed to leave the golem corpses there, but there's no way I could solve the room if I did that. So... what is even my options here? Okay, I think I needed to do that, because otherwise there's just never enough room to maneuver around them. And hope I didn't need any of those guys. I still have no idea how I'm supposed to deal with the Onglitch there. Okay. I guess I could leave the construct there. Oh, what a mess. Yeah, that queen's not going to survive no matter what I do. So that's cool. Yeah, I don't like this room either. Here's something. Okay. I guess I should start by releasing the construct? I don't know. So, there's a giant arrow-based trap in the middle of the room. It's kind of hard to see visually because of, you know, the color of the force arrows in this style. But basically that means that I'm not supposed to open the Wraith Wings while also being in this area. So I just need that guy to sit around and wait for me to be ready for the Wraith Wing. I also need him to actually go to the button when I am ready. So let's see if I can arrange that. Perfect. Now I should be able to kill this Wraith Wing without too much difficulty, I hope. Or at least bring him somewhere. No, I just need him to not go in the trap, and then I can pull him into the box area, hopefully. Push, pull, whatever. One down. Now I need to do the same kind of thing. I would really prefer to do it with the construct again by bringing him around and maybe just get rid of the eye along the way. There's no reason I can see why that shouldn't be possible. I mean, there's some plausible spots to place him. You can get all the way through this maze. Do need him to open up that eye for me, so I can kill it, but that should be about it. Which maybe it's not intended to use the construct this way, but I don't see what else I could do. That's gonna be really awkward. Not take so very long, maybe. I just need that he will go diagonally, and here he will. So, perfect. Boom should be solved now, more or less. Hooray! I bet the challenge is something... Oh no, a simple room which I made to use the Wraith Wings. I think it's a break after some tougher rooms. Yeah, sure, okay. I solved a room in this entry. That's really all I have to say about it. I don't feel like doing more of this because it's giving me... It feels like it's threatening to give me a headache, even though I don't typically get headaches from stuff like this. Last one on this page, 12 Evil Roaches by Blork1. 12 evil roaches. We dumped the monsters by the bay and the roaches got loose. This is why we're paying you. Roaches are bad and evil. Kill them. Also kill everything else because you have to. Huh? What's going on here? Okay. So I want to be standing here when the roach steps off and opens the door and closes the door. But I can't accomplish that just by instantly going through and trying to make it happen like that. So how can I make that? Like, how do I rearrange things so that that's actually going to work? This would work if he actually released the plate that way. Not quite. Now I have a mirror on the button, which I don't think I want. I could be mistaken, but I think I ultimately want there to not be a mirror on the button. I don't know. Like, if he's out here chasing me, there's really no way to put him back in the box. And when he's in the box, there's no way to get him to actually do what I need him to do. I guess ideally I'd like him to be a couple of steps back, away from me when I open the way, but there's no way for that to happen. Not without some weird brained nonsense, which there isn't a brain in this room, or without putting obstacles in his way, which will then in turn also hold down the button, which I don't want. I don't see any way this could possibly work. Like, I feel like there's no way the solution can be to pull him out and leave him... Like, if he comes out of the box, then I've already failed. Because there's no way I can put him back in the box. He follows too closely because, you know, he's a roach. And he's not brained. Yeah, but I don't see anything I can build that's actually useful for the problem that I have. Because fundamentally, I have to be standing in one of these three tiles at the exact moment that the doors close and open. And the only way that I can be that far away from the button is if the roach is responsible for doing that. I don't know what this room wants me to do. It doesn't look like it's possible. So there's a giant heart made of ormites. And there's a roach right in the middle of it that I need to somehow cut my way to. There's this conspicuous strip of not ormites here in the middle, but I don't see any way to reach that either. And even if I was there, that doesn't seem like it would help. Because that's still way too far away from the roach himself to actually help me get anywhere. Okay. How does this help? Oh. Okay, is that really all there was to it? Well, no, because now I have to get out somehow. And I don't know how to do that. Did I mess it up? Maybe. Possibly I had to make that area open, like vented to the north to be able to escape. In which case, how in the world do I keep it that way when the mother's just constantly spawning? Like, there's no way I can keep an area that's in the middle of a bunch of tar clear of tar when there's a mother around. And it's going to take me well over 30 turns to get back to the other side of the ring. So should my goal be to completely clear this section of tar? Because that's not seeming realistic either. Yeah, that's not going to work. There's no way this can work. Here's the room they put the Slayers in. I think the idea is to not kill them. What does the scroll say? Hint for Magic Slayer sequence. Try facing northwest or southwest. The opposite Slayer should back up far to the east, which will be helpful for you. Okay. Sure. Okay. Yeah, this. Do I need both of these guys? Is one of them good enough? I don't even know what I need them for. So I can kill the roach. And then there's some nonsense with buttons here. Okay. Yeah, I definitely understand what's supposed to be going on here. I mean, it looks like that's supposed to uncork the Slayer and they can do something, but even now, that Slayer isn't doing anything. Why is he not doing anything? Like, he's not even trying to chase me at all. Why not? Why... The north guy has every bit as much of a path to me as the south guy did. Why won't he move? Oh, there is an arrow there. Okay. Weird. Why would you ever put an arrow there? No, I need you to stay east, please, and don't die. How even? And furthermore, why? There we go. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. I can't push him without a way to go west. If I go west, I can't get close enough to keep them pushed. Right? I don't know if I've ever heard wounds referred to as holes in the skin before Deadly Rooms of Death. It's very silly. That's the best descriptor I have for this entire concept of a room. But at least I know that I'm making tangible progress every time these guys go west, every time I take a step east, which is more than I can say for any of the other rooms I've played in this level so far. Slayer juggling. Feels about as difficult to me as real juggling, but in slow motion. Did I accidentally move west? I don't think so. I wouldn't be surprised if I had.
I will sort up, little man.
You will sort up, little man. How do you do that?
I will.
It sounded like he's stuttering, like he's
Sort up,
nervous.
little man. Ready? Take a death.
Because they're both the same voice, it just sounds like one guy's stuttering.
I hope you die. I hope you just far. Die. Die. Sort up. You move with an awkwardness that pains.
How do I keep one of these guys far enough to the east to get the other one? I like how these force arrows just make it make the arbitrary manipulation just different every single time. It's great. So you can't get a good rhythm going or anything, you just have to fiddle with it repeatedly until it decides to work every single time for like 8 tiles worth of going east. And I'm sure there was something of an eye toward making them get harder as you go, because why would there ever not be? That would be perfect if I could move the platform east at this step, but I can't. There. Okay. Is it bad that I'm stranded on this side of the platform? Did I mess up in that? That's the case? Oh wait, no, never mind. I got the roach. I don't need to care about that anymore. I just need to go back to the east, right? Can I go back to the east? Did I pick the wrong place to push? Do I have to push west from the center? Why? Why would you require that? That's absurd. Like, it's really not enough that I managed to get them to halfway cooperate for like 6 entire movements in a row, but the last one has to be exactly as perfect as possible? Why? Like, is there some trick? Is there some way to go east from here that I'm not seeing? I guess I can do this. Okay, yeah, that is a bit of a trick. Maybe? Except that I can't get off the arrows then. I thought I might be able to, but I can't. If If I could move one more tile east, then this would be great. But no, of course not. And by east I mean west. So how is this supposed to be possible? I've tried every possible permutation of this, and the best I can do is push him east from one of the two sides, not the center. Like, this is the optimal thing, is if he's as far east as possible and I go to face the same way as he does, and then I have to go up here, and then I run out of turns every time. There's no way for both of them to be facing the right way, or to be in the right position. The only direction that makes them magically run east is northwest and southwest. I mean, the scroll itself that's the hint for this tells you that, more or less. It doesn't say that's the only way, but it's pretty easy to see that by brief experimentation that nothing else works. Almost, but doesn't work. I don't know why that works. Whatever. Okay. Sure. That totally makes sense. Now I just need to magically keep that guy off the arrow. How? I don't know. How do I keep you off the arrow while I go all the way to the west? Nothing opens this arrow. There is no way to get to the orb without pushing the platform where he can get to the arrow. Remove an annoyance that hurts me. How is this part supposed to work? I have to go all the way up there and all the way back. How do I keep this guy from being an idiot? Okay, I have exactly one guess, which is that I'm actually supposed to magic the roach somehow into blocking him, instead of just killing it, which would be the extremely sensible thing for the player to want to do. Except there's no way the roach will move past him. Yeah, no. Yeah, he's just gonna wind up stabbing it. I don't see any way for the roach to get past him. Ever. Why? Why? Why would you build an entire puzzle and then do this at the end after the player already solved it? I feel like I've had this question before. Like, was it not fiddly enough without something extra that was completely unnecessary being added on? I guess so. Like, there's nothing to hold the roach on so I can push that guy to the corner and make it go past him. And he will never ever go all the way to the corner just by pushing like this. That's been pretty well established. I don't get it. He says he will punish me, but he already is punishing me for playing this level in the first place. Well, I basically solved the room, I just don't know what magic thing I'm supposed to do at the end because of the arbitrary force arrow that didn't need to be there. I don't know how that's supposed to work. Doesn't seem like it can work. Oh well. I'm tired of this entry. Let's look at a different one. I'm just gonna make a route this way, and then east, and then west, and then north to the best ones. Here's Lazy Architect's basement. Iontropic. Lazy Architect is so lazy that he waits until deadline before starting his entry and makes a small basement instead of an actual dungeon. I think I was able to finish this one, but I could be misremembering. Hey! Not that I'm claiming being able to finish this one as a great accomplishment. Oh wait, no, is this the one with the horrible Slayer room in the east, where it's impossible to make the Slayer do the right thing unless you just know exactly what magic things he does when he does magic things? Could be. I'm sure I remember beating this room, though. Slayer telekinesis room. Slayernesis. Is that the right? Maybe that's the right construction. Let's do a little better here. I'm only describing my vague memories, so I'm gonna look at it before I actually say anything too meaningful. Maybe don't let the construct on my tail there. Alright, that probably shouldn't have been that difficult, but whatever. Yeah, I tried that. The problem is that the roach can't reach the arrow unless the Slayer is out of his way, and going around the passage causes the Slayer to constantly be in his way, and the roach goes in ahead of the Slayer, so that doesn't work. That was the problem I was encountering. Alright, here's the room where the Slayer makes no sense. And just behaves like a custom character or something. Yeah, he just does whatever that is. And then this exists. Actually, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to let him do whatever that is, because you kind of need him to do something else. Or something. You need this to not be shut. How can I be doing it wrong when I hardly did anything? Like, what? I mean, I'm sure it would help, but I don't think that's a thing that I understand, so... Like, it looks to me like the Slayer is just deciding to go where he wants for no reason whatsoever. That's sure what it looks like. He just sort of makes an arbitrary decision to go all the way to the other corner of the room for no reason. And then he just does it. And there's no really controlling him or anything. And I guess I could try cutting his path and see if he behaves then. Or he'll just keep on dropping his wisp and wandering off in the direction I need him to not go. well, then I need to bump something else to tell him to stop going a stupid direction, but that doesn't work because he's a Slayer and not Half. If he tries to go to that orb, he just closes the door on himself like a doofus. And I don't really... That is the opposite of what makes sense. So, do I just sit here and wait for him to go push the button? That won't work. If I walk into the room at all, then he immediately starts changing his path. Well, I don't have a choice in letting him get close or not, because any motion whatsoever causes him to change his path. So... what? This is just arcane nonsense. Oh look, I didn't block his path with my sword, and he still decided to go somewhere else for no reason. Okay. Also, apparently, hitting the orbs, which I obviously need to hit, causes him to decide what to do. Something else? Because that makes sense. I didn't change or block his path at all. What? Double hitting a cracked orb doesn't do anything but destroy the orb. It still does whatever the orb does. Well, I don't have control over the Slayer because I'm literally not allowed to interfere with him whatsoever, so that's not going to happen. Except that I can't make the Slayer do anything. He won't hit anything because I can't control him, because doing anything to interfere with him causes him to do bad things. You're not making any sense. So I have to completely not interfere with the Slayer whatsoever, but I also have to magically cause him to turn his sword, which requires interfering with the Slayer. Yeah, sure. But this is just utter nonsense. And you basically have to know all of that ahead of time to even start to try the room. Okay, this is tar cutting. Like, what person just walking into a room and seeing a Slayer do something random is going to go out of their way to try to figure out, first of all, why he's doing it, how he's doing it, and secondly, how to keep him doing it even though it looks like you should be preventing him from doing it based on what happens when you let him do it. Like, I don't know. I'm just wandering around, not actually doing anything. I'm not really sure how to... So I need to block all of these from spawning completely? Like, not complete. I need to block all 4 of these places from spawning in a way that... I don't know. Well, having a Brain Queen isn't a guarantee that I'll dislike something. It's just that, I don't feel like their movement is very meaningfully possible to predict. I don't know what's going on here. I guess there's a clone potion here that I could take if I got this mimic potion there, which requires me to go get the decoy potion over there. And that will also open the way to this powder keg. There's a stick token here that I can't get to, so I don't know why it exists. I certainly don't have the option of making that construct not do what he does. So the stick token is pointless because there's no way for me to use it. Unless, of course, I'm supposed to put the mimic or the decoy on it. I don't have very many options for where to put the decoy, actually, thanks to the giant door. The only places I can put the decoy are probably, well, apparently not there for some reason. I guess that's technically a semi-pseudo trapdoor. Here, which I don't really want to put him there, because that would block me from putting the mimic there. Alright, it doesn't look like I have a choice but to put it here. And after I do that, I guess I don't have a choice but to put the mimic where I got the potion from before. No, there's nowhere to put the mimic. So, yeah. What? There's nowhere to put anything. There is exactly one tile to put anything on, and there's no way to get the thing off of that tile once you put it there. And there's nowhere to put anything else once you've done that. relevant elements right now are the potions. I noticed that, but that seems completely irrelevant. These tunnels ensure that you can't put the construct on the button instead, not that you could anyway, since there's a potion this way. It would be relevant if I could use it to kill the decoy after I'm forced to place it, but I can't, because you can't even get over there at all. There's no hot tiles anywhere that I could use the construct to push the keg and explode something with. There is no purpose or point to destroying the trapdoors with the construct because there's no red door anywhere or anything. What is with this? That's not shallow, so there's no way to put anything here you can walk on. I don't have access to any swords that would actually explode a barrel. I mean, I can't explode it on my sword because that would kill me. I can't explode it on a guard's sword because he'll never let that happen. So there's nothing I can actually explode it with. So it doesn't matter that there's another option to explode it. There are no fuses, no hot tiles, and no swords I can actually use to destroy it with. I have to give up because none of that makes any sense to me. There's no purpose to blowing up a powder keg anyway. Like, here's whatever this is, by the way. Like, you're talking about this like it somehow has a use, but there is nowhere that it's useful that I can see. Okay. What is this? What does this want from me? Okay. Well, there are only 2 golems, so... I only need to decide where to place 2 obstacles. I guess I'll try putting one exactly in the way of where she's trying to go. And see what happens. I know that, but that doesn't mean that I understand what the use is supposed to be. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to figure out what the use is supposed to be just because I know it can happen. Like, telling me that this is a thing that has a use doesn't really... Okay. Well, that doesn't help. Now she just sits comfortably. I guess I'll put it earlier in her path, like here. Okay, she tries right that way, so I'll prevent her from doing it. And now she just sits comfortably there where it's not any use. So we'll put a block here. Yeah, this, meh. At least there's a walk back stairs here. Alright, I kind of want to keep going real quick. A collection of titles by Chaco. This hold is unprecedented serious affair. We ask that you solve this mystery. Swarm of bright bugs. I remember this one. I think I succeeded in solving this one once. What does that say? Solve the room without breaking the southeast wall. Okay. Wait, where's the southeast one? Never mind, I had east and west confused. So there's this button that does something. So I know the idea here is to put the roaches in the pockets in a very particular way. I don't really remember what that way is. Feels like I need to do that, maybe? And then this. And like stuff them in between these somehow. Maybe I only needed 4 though. Okay, I'm not... How can I... So I guess I have to pull out all 10 because they have to go in there. Naturally, I didn't recognize this as a reference to anything. Alright, I don't know how to start this. Yeah, I know how to do that, but I can't set those up and also set the other ones up at the same time because this happens. Okay, maybe that's good. I should face this way. I don't know whether move order is important here, but I hope not. Because I don't feel like I have a lot of control over it. Right, there. No, yeah, this seems to arrange itself pretty well. Maybe I can get the challenge if I do it this way. Yeah, okay. Challenge wasn't too hard to achieve once you've solved the room. Hooray! Roach phenomenon. Okay. Goal 1, don't step on any of these. Goal 2, I guess, put the eyes on this. Even though I could also just stab them, right? Is there some reason I can't just stab them? Oh, actually, hang on. I am just supposed to stab them, right? I don't know what's up with these central fire traps. Why do they exist? Alright, that can't be the right direction. And that can't be the right direction. I don't think this is right either. Yeah, I don't know how to start this room. action seems really advantageous at all. It feels like no matter what, I'll have some pair of eyes to contend with that I have no way of killing. Ah well. I think I vaguely remember this one, but not exactly how I did this. I thought the voting was just good puzzles voting and not much of anything else. That's not the right button, and now it's going to take a while to load. Sorry, I meant to just hit restore. I want to at least poke my head in the rest of the entries before 5, and it is 4:40, so while I might have liked to look through more of that one, I feel I should move on. Beethro in the Cold Corridor by iCubic. As Beethro walked down the stairs, the first thing he noticed was the cold. As he stared down the long corridor ahead, he wished he had a pair of gloves and some earmuffs, maybe even a warmer jacket. However, Beethro had none of those things, so gripping his sword with his freezing hand and his teeth chattering, Beethro set off down the long corridor before him. The goal here is to skate the goblins over so they die on the hot tiles like that, I think. Yeah. Sweet. Here's the Slayer. And a bunch of things. Yep. I think I remember this one. I think I might have solved this one. This is kind of neat, sorta. The basic idea is that you kinda make the queen you kind of bounce the queen back and forth between yourself and your time clones. But I don't remember exactly the shape of the dance. It's something like this. Ish. Yeah, you've got to wait a little longer than that. Let's just wait here for a moment. And just start doing that arbitrarily and see if that works. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. He should step back this way and then start doing that. Yes. Maybe? Yes. Now, yeah, I think the middle guy needed to step back as well. There we go. Look at that. Sweet. Love this room. Except I think I might have done it wrong. Yeah, you have to do more things than I did. I guess. So the queen needed to step... I don't know. I think I've solved this before, but probably not on this computer. I think it's a neat room. I just feel low on time at the moment. Let's see. The other one I haven't seen is this one. Grab bag. Oh. Oh yeah. This is the complete nightmare level that consists of literally everything in one room, and you have to cycle out of the room and back into the room over and over again. Ah. It's a neat idea, but oh man. Scattershot Holiday Hole by Jeffrey. And it's up to me to figure out how I'll make use of each of them. Okay. This is also kind of the same thing, except without the going back and forth through the room several times. This is, I sure hope you know exactly how the architect went through this level, but otherwise, nope. Yeah, anyway. This exists. Unabridged 12 Days by Kalen. Yep. Oh, this is literally the song 12... Yeah, I remember this one. What am I meant to do here now? Oh yeah, just... Don't kill her yet, dummy. Yeah, you keep going back and forth, and it's like, here's the second day. It's literally the song, except the kind of, you know... Sure hope you like redoing the same room over and over again like this. I think this, I think this room this entry does a pretty good job of conveying that experience of actually listening to the 12 Days of Christmas song, or goodness help you singing it, wherein you just keep repeating the same verses over and over again. It's just like a chore. The only one I can kind of stand is the one that's like the 12 Pains of Christmas, because in like other comedy types where they're clearly making fun of the original song and stuff. Yeah, anyway. I've seen enough of that one. At least it had a neat map art of the tree there. Here's mine. I think this is an okay entry, except that I hate the decoration that I put on it. My gosh, this looks a lot worse than I remember even. And I already remembered it looking bad. I think maybe my alpha blending setting is a bit different, or the way darkness is handled might be different on this version, because it wasn't this unreadable when I was building it. Good goodness. I wanted Christmas lights and I wanted hold art, and that's about the only thing. Do I have alpha blending off or on? I don't even know. I have it on. If I turn it off, what happens? Oh, okay. Yeah. The thing is, it didn't look nearly as awful when I was editing it. I mean, it still looked what I would call today bad, but it wasn't completely unreadable bad. Yeah, anyway. So, yeah. I made some trees, some pretty snowflakes. I think there is a cross in the... Oh. I found a crash. I don't know how I crashed the game, but I'm going to try again. I hope you could see it saying Drod.exe is not working. It crashed when I walked west into that room? Why would it do that? This room has scripted entities. These Omplitch are actually character Omplitch that turn into Omplitch on turn 1. Okay. Well, it didn't crash this time. What did I do? I don't know. Anyway, there's a cross here. That was all I wanted to do, was show that. I think this room is neat, but it's also kind of tedious. Well, it was a little bit quick. But I have no idea why Drod crashed. Was I going through rooms too quickly and something happened? Oh, look, some pretty gift boxes. Oh, I made it break again. Okay. So I think the problem is maybe that I'm zipping back and forth through these rooms too quickly, and it doesn't like that. Except I don't know why it doesn't like that, because it's never hated me for that before. Let me see if there's anything obvious if I turn the horrible decorations on again. Okay, I'm just going to pace. Alright, pacing between two rooms doesn't seem to cause it. I have no idea why it's crashing. Well, maybe I'll submit a bug report if I remember to. I'm sure it's my fault for building this level so garishly, but oh well. That was not... I don't know, I pushed F, I think, and that happened. One more room to go, 10 minutes. Hyper round. Here's Trollness. Trollness is, it exists. We put all the monsters here, and then we force the player to, like, even more than the unabridged days of 12 Days of Christmas, this is absolutely the experience of singing the 12 Great Days of Christmas song. Or I guess singing maybe like a super permuted version of it where there's a lot more days and you have to start the entire song over again after you finish it the first time. Except the second time around all the things are different. But yeah, this is the entire experience of the level of the contest entry you see right here. You go up, you hit all the seeding tokens, you go all the way down, and you hit the conquer tokens. You go up, and you hit the seeding tokens again. And it just keeps going. And it's a decision that was made to build that. Alright, on to the winners. 3. Last minute shopping. So this one I recall having a lot of trouble with these. I don't know. It's kind of interesting because you have kind of two options of how to solve each room. I don't know if I ever made much progress in this one. Mithro does a lot of talking in it, I see. I'm sorry I'm giving these quickly, but maybe I'll come back to the at least contest winners next week with a little more time. I mean, it is Christmas season, December, so it'd be kind of appropriate to actually delve into the high-ranking entries. How to build a room. By which we mean, I don't know, add in a step every time we add a monster, just like the other one that did that, but differently. Very similar to Discord's entry and idea, except execution is different. Basically, each step you add a new thing, a new widget along with the new monster that you need to... You need the new monster to interact with the widget in a useful manner, basically. Is this... Yeah, that toggles. Okay. Yeah, it is possible entirely. Because it's never crashed there before. I'll look at Broad Air. Of course. I just didn't want to interrupt the stream with that. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, and this is what the #1 entry by Insoluble looks like. Xmas contest, no L, hold. It's a terrible pun. I am a terrible person. There's no L. Yep. Alright. I should call it for today. I'll take a look at the error logger. I'll come back and maybe try the highest ranking, the top 3 next time, because I didn't really do more than glance at them. Okay, let me see. Oh wait, that's the wrong... What? Hold on. Oh yeah, I'm looking at the wrong document. That's RPG. I already reported the error I found in the latest build of RPG. Yeah, remind me to play those. Here's Broad Air, and it is empty! Oh boy. I have no idea what caused the crash in that case. Uh-huh. Alright, well, whatever. Thank you for watching. This has been a very strange stream, but it's been okay. Next time, we'll look back at the top 3 and maybe finish the letter T. But farewell for now. I got things I have to do.